Hey guys, welcome back. Well, I guess welcome me back. It has been just a little bit since I have put out a video, and I'm sure you care a ton, all of those of you who follow me each and every day. And I say that sarcastically because you can see how many, followers I have, and I'm sure 5 of you care that I am putting this out at all. Anyway, I am back. No, probably not regularly, but I just had time in the midst of kind of a lot going on in life. And so that's what this video is about. It's an update on kind of some things that have gone on in my life, and then also some reflection on stages of life. That's what I'm going to call it. Stages of life. When you really pause and think about each kind of iteration of yourself in different decades now for me, or different stages of life, it's very interesting. Very interesting to kind of see yourself through that lens. And so maybe a little bit of a self-reflection as well as the updates, like I said. So I'm kind of on a little bit of a road trip. I just had this desire to kind of get out and do some creative things. It probably will just be a lot of me talking and coming up with stuff as I go along, and thought I'd bring you along for the ride. Oh, speaking of rides, hey, very nice. This is the new car that we got. Really fun to drive, so figured I'd take it for a bit of a spin. Might end up out at the beach, might not. We will see where things go from here. All right, so the first stage that I was thinking about, just my college years, and thinking about how there is so little responsibility in your college years. Yeah, you have schoolwork, but really you can kind of do whatever you want. Every day is kind of a new day, and you can plot that course as you go. A lot of freedom to change paths real quick if you need to, or go in a different direction. I'm thinking about that because my boys now are in that stage and age, and I get to see them and watch them, and kind of every day is a new day. Yeah, they have plans, and they have, they're going to their colleges and doing, different things that they would like to do. But in the broad scheme of things, looking back from where I'm now, there's just a lot of freedom. There's a lot of discovery of what you like, what you don't like, who you are, and all of those things. That was a fun time. And I think anyone watching who's older than college years, by and large, I think most of us look back on those years, and sure, we made mistakes, but it was a time where the weight of responsibility and the world wasn't quite there yet, and you had an opportunity to just enjoy life. So that stage was definitely a blessing. I had a lot of fun. I got to do and try a lot of different things. Play basketball, sing in choirs, do some trips, different things like that, which was a lot of fun. And yet life moves on. Well, the second stage of life that I'd like to talk about is marriage. As much as your early years and kind of those college years are perhaps freedom-inducing, when you sign up and pledge yourself to marriage, your freedoms are not the same. Yes, you do still have choices to make that you make every day that are unique to yourself. And yet the big directional decisions, financial, jobs, what's best for your family, that's done with your spouse. That's a big change. And so marriage is an opportunity, I think, to really learn more about yourself. There is a lot of challenges in marriage because you go from that freedom of making all your own choices to now having to be accountable to someone else, to care about someone else more than yourself, which is a pretty big jump. And even if we don't think we're thinking about ourselves, that's the thing about marriage, is it shows you how much you have been thinking about yourself. So marriage is just a whole nother stage of thinking about others, thinking about someone else more than yourself. And that can be a huge jump. It comes with a lot of positives, and you get to learn about yourself alongside someone else, and it's really cool. So marriage, that's a big next stage in our lives. So I'm at this wildlife area, and it's pretty cool. There is no wildlife out in the field. Just FYI, there is no wildlife out here. I'm assuming that at certain seasons there's deer out here, perhaps elk. Oh, there are bugs, watch out. Which is great, I love that. But currently there's no wildlife. Might be because it's middle of the day, that could be why. But anyway, kind of a cool place. I'm on my way to the beach, and I will catch up with you there. So I think you can see me over here, and as you can tell, the ship has been covered again. So whatever picture I saw was from a while ago. The ship is no longer visible. There's a lot more of it that's visible, but not nearly as much as what was visible in the picture that I saw. So anyway, there you go. There you have it. Interesting. Now I gotta climb back up to the camera. Ugh. So yeah, this is the Peter Iredale inside the front of it. I don't know all the statistics. I was gonna give you kind of a rundown on how it got here, all that kind of stuff, but I don't really know. So, but I wanted to now shift to the next stage. So I've covered, college years, kind of out of high school, also marriage. But then the next stage, if you've gotten to this point, and if you've been blessed to have kids, it's having kids, because that changes everything once again. That when you get into the stage of having kids, man, I think that's when it really settles in, that you kind of gotta be an adult, if you will. I mean, I know that you do a lot of adult things if you don't have kids, and I get that. But for me, at least, it was that was the moment that I really figured out, like, man, I have to take care of these human beings and be responsible and figure out my career and figure out what it is that I want to do with my life and find a place to live and all of those really big decisions. Man, once you have kids, going from, having a whole bunch of kids under the age of 10 to now having kids that span from almost 20 down to 11 almost. And boy, there's a lot of life and a lot of things that you have to learn real quick. Not only are you now responsible for yourself and your spouse, but now you're responsible for children and all that comes along with that. Probably of all of the stages, marriage sometimes based on, the dynamics of if you have kids right away or what you're doing, it can look different. And so I'm not going to categorize marriage as a good or bad. I think it's an amazing time, but I think you're still learning, growing when you're first married. I think it's those kids stages that really cement. For me, it reminds me of my parents, what I remember growing up, because that's my earliest memories is of my parents, raising us kids and things like that. So when I think of an adult, I think of, parents with kids, because that's what it was to me. So anyway, that's the next stage. Pretty crazy. So I got one more stage for you, and that's where I'm headed in this video. If you stuck around this long, thank you. Like and subscribe, all of those things. You'll really appreciate this next stage of life, and hopefully I can kind of add some things, give you some things to think about. And this wind is crazy, so if you can even hear me, that's phenomenal. Peter Iredale, my hair going crazy. It's just a whole thing out here. But anyway, I just wanted to finish this video off with this thought and idea. So my last stage, at least the stage I'm in currently, I told you I'd kind of get to some updates, some things that are going on in my life or have here these last several months, one of which I have transitioned in my job. If you know that my full-time work is as a pastor, and so I've been over youth and worship these last many years and have just recently transitioned into a lead pastor role. And so that has been something that's been on my heart for a long time, something that I've wanted to do for a long time, that I felt God has led me to. Yeah, through just a great transition process, I'm now a lead pastor at the church I've been at now for almost 19 years. That has been an amazing journey to this point, not just through this more recent transition, but how God's prepared me for that whole thing all along. And maybe that'll just be another video, but that's been something that has taken a lot of my time, and yet it's something that I'm really excited about as well. Excited for what God has in the future for our church and for my ministry there. Something else that has continued on, I have kids that are now graduating from colleges and high school and going to college, and we have 5 cars now, which is crazy. You saw the newest car that we've added. I mean, this stage is just so different than anything that I could have imagined. I mean, like, you know, my kids are older, and, you know, having conversations with them about life and all of those things is pretty cool and busy all the time, but it's exciting. So excited to be a part of what God is doing in our lives, and excited for what is going to happen in the future. So stages, pretty cool. You go through so many of them.